How are we doing there, boys and girls? Oops, please ignore. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome, welcome. How we doing? shout out my coffee club. Respect, mad respect to you. We've got a bunch of stuff to be talking about today. Yes, we do. Oh boy, leaks all over the place. Am I surprised? No, not really. Blizzard have the inability to keep secrets. So much so that it almost feels like they do it deliberately for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. They seem to feel the need to leak, and it's not even as if it was like data mined or some annoyed employee deliberately leaked it. It's just quite simply they just oops, we clicked publish a day early. It's a little bit ridiculous. I'm not quite sure why they do it, because it kind of kills the hype, I guess, a little bit. But hey, well, we know a bunch of stuff. We know that 9.1 is the new Call of Duty. I mean, no, it's not called Call of Duty, is it? It's COD. What is it actually called? Something of something. It's in the goddamn thumbnail for this video. I can't even remember. Chains of Domination. Yeah, it sounds It sounds a little bit 50 Shades of Grey, if I'm going to be honest, but Chains of Domination, sure, okay, fine. Let's see what trouble Sylvanas gets herself into this time, maybe. But there was a bunch of cool info that came out from it. It got me pretty excited anyway. The fact that we now have flying confirmed, that's a big thing for me. Huge thing. I mean, let's be honest, it was practically confirmed that flying's coming in patch 9.1 anyway. I'm hoping come BlizzCon we actually get a little bit more information about just exactly how that's going to happen. Firstly, I hope it's account-wide, because the fact that it's going to be linked to Renown does make me wonder. What do you think would happen if they didn't make it account-wide? What if they made it so that you actually had to have a minimum Renown? Maybe you had to complete Season 1. Because you know how instead of it being a Pathfinder thing, I suppose there's the probability that you have to complete Season 1 or complete the campaign, hit Renown 40 minimum, because of course they're going to increase the Renown, or they're just going to reset the Renown. They're going to do something with the Renown. But what if they didn't make it account-wide? Ooh, that would be interesting. But one thing I do want to talk about in a little bit of detail today regarding flying is how it's going to affect, like, the herb prices, the ore prices, the leather prices, the cloth prices. All of the main materials of the game are heavily affected by flying. Because let's put it this way: when you're on a mount, you can go 100% movement speed. When you're flying, you can go 310 movement speed. You can literally get places 3 times faster when you're on a flying mount, which means when you're bouncing from one ore node or one herb to another herb, then naturally you just pick up a lot more stuff in either the same or a lot less time. That tends to very quickly have an effect on the market. And I want to go back and I want to see when flying was introduced in Legion, when flying was introduced in BFA, and look at that time point and see what happened to some of the materials then. Because I reckon that there's going to be a sharp decline, I would imagine, would be the trend. It makes sense, right? That you all of a sudden can collect 3 times as much items in an hour that you could, in theory, then, you know, like, it surely is not going to, like, there's going to be demand at the new patch and raid and all of this sort of stuff, so it might balance a little bit, but this is why I want to look at data. Data gives us a hint to these sort of things. So I want to go back and I want to look and see what's going on with all of that sort of stuff. And I think we're not far off. I think next week is probably going to be when we're going to start spending a little bit more time on the PTR. Up until this point, really not much has changed. the PTR is still until BlizzCon happens and they announce things officially. I imagine is they've been holding back on stuff for the PTR, but I would guess next week's PTR build is going to be pretty substantial, and we're going to get a lot of maybe not necessarily new zones, but we're going to be able to dive into 0.05 or even further ahead and see what's going on. So that's going to that could start being quite fun. But were any of you guys surprised by any of the announcements? I know I can't necessarily say that I was surprised by any of them. I mean, Burning Crusade we just knew was a thing anyway. I mean, it was an eventuality. I mean, for starters, they even they did the same thing. They sent out that survey asking people questions about what they would want in Burning Crusade Classic, which is exactly what they did before they announced Classic. Ridiculous. Another example of Blizzard they just can't keep their mouths closed ever. But hey, yeah, I can't really say I was surprised by much. I'm very interested to see how they're going to deal with the Maw. There's if we bring up where was it? The fact that the where is it? Yeah, the Mysteries of Corthia. If they're going to be adding, whether it's actually going to be a new zone or whether it's just going to be glued onto the side of the Maw as it stands currently. That's what I'm interested to see. By the picture of it, the picture seems to indicate that, well, you can see that's Torghast Tower in the background, and the Maw, there's a chain attached to it. So I don't know whether it's going to be a completely new, I don't know how it's going to work, but surprised by the zone being added to the Maw in a Torghast raid. I think a Torghast raid was inevitable. I mean, there is no way that they were going to implement this huge, great big structure that we've been powering through to try and climb up without at some point having it be a raid there. That would be cool. Hope it's not as boring as Mechagon. I find that really interesting, because some people, Mechagon was really, it were for any for any of my English viewers, you'll understand the phrase. Mechagon was like Marmite. You either loved Mechagon or you hated it. I really enjoyed Mechagon. I liked the fact that it was semi-open. I mean, of course, there was a few caves and stuff you could go in, but for the most part, it was an outside thing. It was pretty open. It wasn't huge, yet the purpose of the place was very obvious. It was a daily quest hub zone. It wasn't trying to be anything fancy. It wasn't trying to put any stupid restrictions on you. It was like, there's a bunch of rares on this. They drop a bunch of cool stuff. There's a whole bunch of little mini games. It's just a little fun place for you to be. I actually genuinely thought Mechagon, as the island, was quite cool. The way they just dropped it into the lore was like, oh, we just found this island that you can literally stand on the shore and see, as long as your graphics card is within the last 10 years. It felt a bit odd that Mechagon was meant to be this mysterious secret place, and then it just popped up out of nowhere. That aside, I thought the zone itself was pretty full. I enjoyed Mechagon 10 times more than Nazjatar. Nazjatar was painful, and it still infuriates me to this day that there are one or two things I need to tick off the list to complete the Nazjatar meta achievements. I want to get that stupid crab, and to get that stupid crab I need to kill, I think, 2 more rares, and I need to level 1 more of the bodyguard things to, I think it was level 30 you had to get them to. And then I get that stupid crab mount and the meta achievement and all of that sort of stuff. I didn't actually in Nazjatar go round and find everything. There's still a few like hidden treasury stuff I need, but Mechagon though I thought was pretty cool. But what do we think about this zone? The first thing that I noticed was there are new creatures there. This thing, for starters, looks like it's going to be skinnable. We already know from the beta that there was a bunch of different variations of leather that were in the beta that they chose to remove from the game. Is that maybe an indication that we might see some of those coming back? Who knows? Are we going to see, like, because one thing that did stand out to me is there was absolutely zero talk about legendaries. Not a single word in any of that press release related to legendaries in any way, shape or form. We know in 0.5 they're going to be like, they've already indicated that they're buffing a whole bunch of the legendaries, or the legendary powers, to make them more interesting for people to go and get. They've obviously seen that people just aren't doing Torghast enough, and because people aren't doing Torghast enough, they don't have like spare soul ash to be just like randomly crafting more legendaries. Which I think the amount of time and investment they put into, because there's some ridiculous number, like way over 200 different legendary powers in the game, and I think the fact that most classes use maybe 2, possibly 3 of them out of the 10 or 12 that's available per class. I think Blizzard actually wanted you to want to craft multiple legendaries, and people just looked at Abyss list. That one's best in slot, boom, do that one, done. Forget about Torghast. And I think Blizzard want to fix that. But it was interesting. There was not a single word was said about upgrade your legendary or increase your legendary power, or literally nothing. Which was ironic for me, because it was the one thing I was waiting to see what they were going to say about. I knew flying was coming. It was inevitable they were going to do something with the Maw. Yes, we know there's always a new raid. Where's the raid going to be? Oh, it's going to be in Torghast. Cool. Could have probably guessed that. Nothing was too surprising. I was waiting for the... Oh, Mega Dungeon. We'll talk Mega Dungeon in a minute. Nothing was too surprising, if I'm honest. But not a single drop, not even half a sentence. Even in the and more, this was the thing. You'd think that legendaries would have even like qualified for the and more. Gear up for Shadowlands raid, dungeon and PvP season 2 with mythic keystone, blah blah blah. New cosmetic armor sets. Expand the powers of your soul mines and conduits. Now, I mean, they really could have added the word legendaries in there somewhere. New mounts and pets to your menagerie, and unlock flying in the 4 main zones, and much more. So, hey, but they just need to put more rewards in Torghast. Yeah, it's deathly empty right now. Like, not to mention that you could complete 5 floors, not kill the final boss, and get absolutely nothing for your time. Absolutely nothing for your time. It's not even as if, like, if you complete floor 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get a percentage of the soul ash. No, if you don't kill that last boss, you don't get the soul ash. And that is, for a lot of people now, the only reason they're running Torghast is to kill that final boss and to get the soul ash. Even then, soul ash, the fact that the only thing you use it for is creating legendaries is not as much of a pull for people anymore. Well, if you can so slowly stack up reward points, getting a gear upgrade, Torghast all of a sudden is great content. Well, this is it. Like, there's this weird thing that they've tried to do with Shadowlands, being that here's a whole bunch of things you can do, but very little of it do you actually have to do? But the problem is nobody's going to do something unless it's either super fun, which Torghast is kind of fun, but it gets very repetitive because there's only a handful of anima powers. We'll talk about more anima powers in a second. Twisting Corridors, I think, they missed a trick with that. Twisting Corridors could have been crazy. I powered through Twisting Corridors at the beginning, and I've never gone back since. Why? Because I know I can't complete all 8 layers or floors or wings or whatever you want to call them. And the only reward for me doing the Twisting Corridors is right at the very, very, very end, and it's a mount to make me move faster in a zone I don't want to go to in the first place. Twisting Corridors should have been the mode where there was like some sort of Torghast currency that you could just continually play the Twisting Corridors and try and get like more and more of this currency to buy I mean, look at the island. Like look at the islands, for example. The islands, it was only, what was it, like 9.2 or was it 9.3 when they released the vendor so that you could trade your doubloons for, like, every week the boxes on the vendor changed. And so if you didn't get the mount or the pets or the transmog from running the islands in the first place, you could spend your doubloons to try and get those things. Now, if they know that that's a thing, and they know that people liked that, and it made so many more people go back into doing islands, even after the AP grind that almost killed people, why didn't they just do that to begin with Torghast? Torghast is super fun, but if I'm going to be spending 2 to 3 hours in WoW, I'll be doing either Raid or M+, since that's what I need to do progress. Yeah, this is it. It falls really low on the priority list for people. I enjoy just running through Torghast runs, but like I said, if there's something that could progress my character or something to collect, I'm more likely to do that first than do what is basically 100% optional content in Torghast. Is it 8 times 18 layers? Yeah, that's just too much. That's just too much. For the carrot on the end of that stick is too great. That's just way too many layers for me to progress through. Considering the only reward that I would achieve from doing that is a mount. And that's only if I complete it again. It's not like my progress through it is going to help me get further through it. I know that until you're item level 220, you ain't going to complete that. And so I just know that I'm not geared enough to do it, so there's no point me grinding it now. I might as well wait till next patch when I do have the gear to do it, and then I'll just walk through it. Mistweaver and 4 others. Reset until you get a Vivify anima power, and then watch him do a million DPS. Maybe. Maybe. But I mean, going out of your way to cheese something is... I don't really find that all too fun either, to be honest. But no, I get it, that if you've only got, especially if you've only got a few hours to play. I'm in the fortunate position that I can play Warcraft 8 hours a day if I want to. But the difficulty there is that I still will spend my time doing something that I feel progresses my character. This stupid thing here, for example, will take up all of my life, and I am much more likely to try and go and get something from this list than I am to just casually run Torghast for no reason whatsoever. And interestingly, I'm now at the point where this is where my focus is starting to turn. I've got my alts leveled. They're not geared, but they're leveled. I'm not super fussed about gearing my alts. I just want to make sure that I see the content that's available. Tick a few boxes, keep my renown ticking over nicely. But primarily, my focus is very quickly going to be getting like all these... There is so many mounts in Shadow. I didn't even realise this. But there is something... There's like 40, 50 new mounts added to the game already, which is bonkers. Now, I'm not a super mega collector of mounts. I've probably only got a couple of hundred mounts. I'm probably not even that many. Okay, well, okay. I've got almost 300 mounts at this point, which by some people's standards is nothing. In fairness, considering I've been playing the game for as long as I have, and I've played every single expansion in great detail, I probably should have way more mounts than this. There are some really silly ones that I don't own. But yeah, I'm starting to realise there is so much more to Shadowlands that is kind of not necessarily obvious. But I guess a lot of these is hidden behind achievements and killing rares, and probably grinding out certain things. These are all the weapon appearances. There's so much stuff I need, and this is just from all of this is just from Moldraxxus, or my Covenant, I suppose I should specify really. Morning, Roscoe. Welcome. I want to start getting a bit deeper into the Covenant special features. Interesting. I was having a small bit of a rant yesterday about anima and just the sheer lack of it. The fact that I always tend to find that I'm so far behind with anima, it's unreal. They've made a couple of subtle changes. Now, I've read so many patch notes and I've looked at so many leaks. I've kind of forgotten what's coming when at this point. But once you cap out your souls, so I was saying that I'm now getting 20 souls every week. Where's the dude that I can't even see them? You get 20 souls every week. And your character can hold a maximum of 100, I feel. Yeah, see, I'm now at 84 out of 100, and I was like, I've got no use for all of these souls. What I actually need is more anima. What they are doing is that once you've claimed, once you're maxed out at 100 souls, your quest will change. Your quest will change from giving you 20 additional souls, and it will give you, I think it's 500 anima instead. Which I guess will be a benefit. It means that when you spend some souls, you'll get those souls back, but then once you cap out on your souls again, your quest will revert to giving you anima instead, which I think is quite cool. I think that makes sense. Additionally, the quest to get 1,000 anima, once you're renowned, is reached 40. So once you cap your renown, instead of this quest giving you a renown every week, your 1,000 anima quest will then give you 1,500 gold. Well, hey, nice little bonus for actually sort of, you know, that your 1,000 anima quest will probably be something that you'll passively just pick up by that point, but been grinding anima to not cap the souls. Well, it's not implemented yet. I can't even remember where I read it. Like I said, I've read so many patch notes and things of recent. But I did find it somewhere. That maybe it was in the PTR changes. It was just slipped in there, and it was not really, nothing had really been said about it. But based on the fact that I was having a bit of a rant about never having enough anima the other day, it felt fitting. Oh, this is another thing we should probably talk about today, considering we're pretty into our gold making. Vendor prices for items below item level 75 have been adjusted, and by adjusted they mean trashed into the ground. So for any of you guys that were still farming and creating old BFA gear to vendor it, yeah, good luck with that going forward. This is also going to mean if you're holding on to any large amounts of owned materials, the value of those materials is likely to plummet very, very quickly. This is, I'm not necessarily sure why this is a thing, but I think this is probably just because when they did the level squish, there was a lot of stuff that just didn't balance out very well. And I think they learned a bit of a lesson from the relics of the past. That when items scale exponentially and the gold on them is scaling at the same rate, it starts to do some weird things. It makes very little sense that a piece of gear that you wouldn't even dream of using ever vendors for more gold than a green that you find in Shadowlands that you might actually find some use for. I get it. It makes sense. Gear from old expansions should not be worth as much as what the gear is from the current expansion. But now they've not gone into detail on this about what prices of things have changed. This is maybe where we need to sort of start diving into the PTR a little bit and start figuring these things out and get a heads up on what might happen. That's a real big thing for gold making, is just keeping ahead of the game. The quicker you can learn something and the quicker you can respond to something, the more chance you'll have of either making gold from it or, in many cases, not losing gold to it. Here we go. Well, this was the thing. Once players reach renown 40 with their covenant, the weekly quest to gather 1,000 anima will now reward you with 1,500 gold. So that's going to be a nice little bonus. Because most people, I feel, were only collecting that 1,000 anima to get the renown. That was just the reason they were doing it. But then obviously once that reason disappears, then it's nice at least to get 1,500 gold. But in the grand scale of things, 1,500 gold to get 1,000 anima is not something you'll probably get. You're not going to log on a reset day and go, right, let's grind out 1,000 anima, because 1,500 gold is literally doing one calling nowadays. I feel there's a slight issue in the amount of gold that you get from callings, especially once we get flying and we can literally just delete the world quests. World quests currently take a bit of time to actually do because we're appropriately geared for the content. Yet going forward, when we can fly and when we're super geared and can just delete world quests, 1,500 gold per calling per day per character is going to add up very, very quickly. Now, it's not going to be as ridiculous as what it was back in Warlords of Draenor, where you never even had to leave your garrison. You clicked a few buttons on a mission table and then came back the next day to 5,000 gold in your bags. But it's the fact that it's 7 callings a week at 1,500 gold is about 10,000 gold a week per character, just by completing your callings. If we look at BFA, for example, we used to have the 2,000 gold calling, but that wasn't every day. that was like maybe once or twice a week. So that your ability to make gold by just doing world quests at the moment is crazy high compared to what it was in BFA. That's fine, put some gold in the masses' pockets. I'll get that gold in some way. Well, yeah, that's it. That's the theory. For gold makers out there, the richer General Joe is, the more likely that General Joe is to buy your expensive item that you're selling on the auction house. So, happy days. That's exactly what happened with Legendaries. That Legendaries gave every single player in the game a really good reason to have to spend hundreds of thousands of gold. Now some did, some didn't. But the fact is that it liquidated the gold from a lot of the sort of the average players at the bottom. Not the hardcore raiders. We're talking about the 90% of people that log on for a couple of hours a day, do a little bit of X, Y, and Z, and then call it quits. I don't like using the word casuals, because you can still be a casual whilst playing 12 hours a day. But I'm talking about the periodic players of the game that they've got 500,000 gold because they've just collected it and they never really spend it on anything. Then patch 9.0 comes along and some dude is selling this rank 4 legendary in the auction house for 300,000 gold, and they're like, oh, I'll have that, yoink. So yeah, I don't mind the average person in the game getting richer, because I know it'll filter its way up to me eventually. So, but this was quite cool. This is also another. It's not the reason I want to get my characters capped on my alts capped to 40 renown. I'm doing it primarily so that they can see the campaign. I want to see the campaign from all 4 points of view before we get into patch 9.1. On my main character, I want to make sure I've got the reps all like ticked off and complete. That's for sure. But also when you hit, I think it's renown 29, is when you unlock the strongest World Quest rewards, and it's at that point where your alts can just like gear up to item level 190 with like literally 0 effort. So, but yeah, once again, there's the one we were speaking about a minute. Once players have recruited the maximum amount of souls for their covenant, which is 100, your weekly quest to rescue souls in the maw will now reward you with 500 additional anima. So I'm so done with the stupid campaigns. I'm starting to get a sneaky feeling that the 4 different variations of the campaigns, they're not actually 4 different variations of the campaign. It's because I was doing the Kyrian campaign for a while yesterday, and I was like, I swear I've done all of these quests on my Manthieus mage just whilst leveling up. It's like, have they just like copy pasted the same quest and just put like different quest text to it? Yeah, it feels odd. Stop forcing people to do the same quests over and over. I think with the campaign is something that should be account bound. Once you've done it once, there's no reason to make you have to do it again, because it's a story driven mode. Once you've seen the story, you should be able to choose to not have to do the same story again. You should just be able to sort of gloss over that bit and start from the point, But does that sort of take away from the fact that this is technically an MMO RPG? It's a role-playing game. If you take the story out, then what is it? I don't know. The Night Fae one is very different. Kyrian's also pretty different, although there are a lot of world quests in it. Moldraxus and the Manthieus have the most overlap. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting to see. I'm probably only halfway through all 4 of them. But the Necrolord campaign I've completed. My alts, though, are probably only renown 14, 15. Kyrian goes to the Necrolords for a campaign quest. The Necrolords had those same quests a week later, apparently. Only Kyrian and Moldraxus share a campaign. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Maybe that's what was causing it. There was a long stretch of maybe 10, 15 quests where I was just like, I swear I've done these quests before, but I can't have done these quests before because I've not done the Kyrian campaign before. So I was like, am I getting deja vu? Am I going crazy? But yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit of research into these vendor prices, because this is not that most people should be focusing on, vendoring low-level gear at this point. Who this is going to really annoy? This is going to really annoy those people that enjoy running old raids. Now, the fact that they're choosing to run old raids for the purpose of making gold, I feel is kind of verging on a bug in the first place. You should want to run the old raids. Yeah, sure, for the transmog. Yeah, sure, for the pets. If there's a mount in there, sure. Collectibles, I understand running old raids. But running old raids just to then loot a bunch of stuff to just vendor it has always felt weird to me. Always felt weird. And Blizzard probably agree on that one. The fact that you could make more gold by running old content than you can by running current content just doesn't make any sense. It's really going to annoy the BFA shufflers. Probably, but I can't see many reasons now why people still feel the need to still do that. I might be missing a trick here, but like the uses for Expulsum, for example, are so few and far between at this point. Like, I don't even get it, because they nerfed the vendor price of the Tidespray linen stuff a while ago, to the point where you had to have basically been getting your Tidespray linen for free to even make 6,000 gold an hour. It was beyond crazy. But that was it. Surely the vendor shuffles have been squished anyway. Like I said, unless you were getting your Tidespray linen for like literally 10 silver a piece, there was no gold in it, to my understanding. Unless it's all changed and I was just ignoring it. The likelihood is I was probably ignoring it because I was making 1 million gold a day selling legendaries, so I didn't care about 6,000 gold an hour from BFA vendor shuffles, but maybe it is still a thing. I don't know. Well, now, this is something that, like I said earlier, although they haven't been talking about, nothing has been leaked about legendaries, other than they have been very open in saying that they are buffing a whole bunch of the legendary powers to make it feel like you might actually want to A, collect a few of these, and B, go out of your way to do Torghast. A lot of leatherworking crafts were better profit than the Shadowlands ones pre-nerf. Oh, okay. People will always find a way to print gold, even if it's a very small amount of gold. People will always find a way to do it. Legendary buff should really help with legendary sales. The interesting thing is I don't think it's really going to help that much with... I mean, this is one thing that I made a big thing about before the legendary, even back in beta, that rank 1s will always have their place and rank 4s will always have their place, because people are either going to want the cheapest way to just get that power, or they're going to want the most powerful way of getting it, maybe once they've already decided that it's good. With some of these buffs, yeah, I guess we might see an increase to some rank 4 sales because of it, but I think primarily it will be people buying up like way below crafting cost rank 1s just to have that legendary to try out the power, maybe to go to maybe just to, you know, target dummy it to see if it's any good, see if they enjoy the playstyle, and then maybe, you know, if they've got the Soul Ash available, upgrade it to rank 4. But you've still got to remember that people still need the Soul Ash to even do that. And there are many people that probably haven't done a Torghast run for months at this point, because they did their Torghast the first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week, maybe the fifth week. They got their rank 4 legendary, and then they stopped Torghast and have not been in there since. So there's probably people that will see all of these changes and they go, oh, these are quite cool. Oh, I don't have the Soul Ash for it anyway. Oh, whatever. Guilty as charged. Yeah. I imagine there's a lot of people that haven't been in Torghast for a long time. Because once you've got your best in slot legendary, and if you don't want any of the other legendaries, so you don't need Soul Ash, and there's plenty of other stuff to do. Why would you be in Torghast? I don't know. To be honest, I'm still seeing more sales of rank 2s and 3s than on rank 4s. That's a bit... That probably falls into what I've just been talking about, that you got to remember that although rank 4s are nice and cheap now, in comparison to what they once were, My Realm, for example, you can buy a rank 4 leatherworking... even rank 4 leatherworking items are like 25,000 gold, as opposed to the 100, 200, 300,000 gold they were previously. So people can buy the rank 4s now if they want, but the bottleneck is still going to be the Soul Ash to even upgrade the things. And hopefully by this point people know how the system works now. And like, it may just be that rank 2s and 3s are selling because they need considerably less Soul Ash to actually create in the first place. And you've got to remember that from rank 1 to rank 2, you gain 20 item levels. You go from 190 to 210, which is massive. A huge jump for what is only like a week's worth of Torghast. But then the jump to from rank 2 to rank 3 is, 15 item levels, which is still reasonable, but less important. And then it's only 10 item levels to get to rank 4, so it kind of becomes less beneficial to upgrade all the way. I don't know, there's lots of reasons why it could be the case, but the reason rank 2s and 3s often sell on my servers, the price difference to rank 4 is often significant, not worth the extra item levels. Heroic Gear's 213, so a rank 2 is fine for that. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably just chilling to have a 210 legendary. Because if they were to then try and get a rank 3 or a rank 4, it's firstly going to cost them a lot of gold to gain some item levels, which is, yeah, it's a few stats, sure, but I don't know. It's hard to put a guesstimate to why people do things that they do. I've just been out of the legendary game for so long though. I've not sold a legendary in weeks at this point because, you know, I was doing other things. It's quite hard to wait 4 weeks for rank 4 when you just need the item level. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a case. The fact that even if you decide that you want if you decide that one of these new legendary powers is quite cool, you're going to want it all of a sudden, then you need to have had 4 weeks worth of Soul Ash banked to be able to go and get your rank 4 straight away. And when people look at it from the point of view of, oh, I've got to grind out 4 weeks again, they may just not bother for something that is really just... It's a system with a 4-week grind attached to it. If it's not BIS, I don't think people are going to bother. And they've already got their best in slot legendary. Now, if their best in slot legendary changes because of these changes, then maybe that's a different story. But we're going to have to wait for, like, you know, people to do all the simming and all of that sort of stuff. Plus, we don't equally know what's going to happen with legendaries come patch 9.1. So, is this maybe just a way to try and keep the legendaries feeling somewhat useful until patch 9.1 and then they just can it? It's still a possibility, let's not forget. It's still a possibility that by the time we get patch 9.1, which could easily be June at this point, that they're just like, nah, legendary's done, move on. It's entirely possible. We're all sat here hoping that there's going to be rank 5 and rank 6 or rank 7 and rank 8 and we're going to make 20 million gold off them again, when there is actually a very strong possibility that they just say, right, that system is done, we'll move on to something else. I mean, that's not unlike Blizzard to just completely delete a system after just one patch. I've only got 2 rank 4s, 1 for raid, 1 for M+. Still getting Soul Ash for my off spec, which needs 2 more legendaries as well. Some people will be of that mindset, but I imagine there's a lot of people that once they've got the legendary that they want, Torghast is off the list of to-dos instantly. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I've there's a dying need in me to get this goddamn stupid rocket. So I'm going to do a couple of quick rocket runs. And then after a couple of quick rocket runs, I think I've done 5 characters already today. I think this is where I'm at. Couple more rocket runs, and then we'll see. All this talk of Torghast actually is making me want to go and play Torghast, which is odd. It's so odd. Or maybe we'll start looking into how. Yeah, okay, I've not done it on this one. Start looking into how flying might actually change. Oh, okay, I'm queuing in as healer. That was unexpected. Yeah, let's start to see how flying might have an effect on some prices of stuff. Hang on, where's our tank? Why is our tank the only one that's asleep? Great. Dude, you get instant queues. Don't, like, AFK. Oh, Jesus. Alright, fine. Here he comes. Everybody stand in the goo. It's fine. I gotcha. I mean, I absolutely, definitely don't. Because I've got no idea what I'm doing. But and you can tell, for a healer to have this as their healing interface is bonkers. I don't play healer. I just queue in as healer occasionally because it gets me faster queues. You're basically missing all of your heals on your bar. No, I've got everything I need. Literally everything. Literally everything. I have 3 why my frame is all the way over here makes no sense as well either. Anyway. For the purpose of killing Rocket Boss, that's it doesn't matter what spec we're in or how many abilities we have on our bars. Doesn't matter. Oh! One thing I need to remember to do considerably more frequently is sell the out. Guys, like button. Find it. Locate it. Smash it. Do it now. See? Instant queues as healer. Love it. There we go, you see. Now, if I don't remind you guys to press the like button, you seem to forget. So, I'm going to have to remind you on a regular basis. That if you've been in the stream for any more than about 4.5 seconds, you've got no excuse for not hitting the like button. That's all I'm saying. Cast, chain, heal. Cast, chain, heal. Literally the most overpowered healing spell in the game. I guess that's why it chunks your mana, I guess, but who cares? Nobody's dying on my watch, unless you do something really silly. I like every day. There we go. My man. But what if we don't like the content and we all keep coming back to the stream just to annoy you in chat? Well, on that basis, there's another little button next to the like button. That is entirely optional. Entirely optional. And if you can't find that one, there is actually one that says join, which is the most powerful button. If you want to express your hatred in the most effective way possible, take your credit card out your back pocket, press the join button, and select the third option. The third option will show me just how much you hate this stream. Now, some of you guys have already pressed that button, so shout out to you. Mad respect. I'm not even paying attention to... Did I open the box on my shaman? I must have done. I just do it on autopilot nowadays. I must have done. I need to actually spend some of these love tokens. I think, when does the event end? We've got, like, a few more days. Oh, Lunar Festival ends today. Oh, Lunar Festival is technically finished. We've got two more days of rocket grinding. I'm a soothing voice. I've never considered myself to have a soothing voice. I'm assuming it must be to some, but I've always thought that I've got quite an annoying, scratchy voice. I've not got one of those deep radio soothing voices, I don't think. I need a voice like, what was his name? Duck Sauce? That was some ear porn right there. Can we have an ASMR WoW gold making TSM moment? Oh, Jesus. That sounds horrendous. Maybe I should get one of those microphones that's got like the 2 ears on it. And I can just whisper like 35% profit on legendaries. And, you know, just get you all tingly. Getting in the mood for sure. Oh dear. I find it funny the amount of people that watch those like eating streams. That's always been really funny to me. You see them on Twitch all the time. It seems to be now. This is just an observation. But it tends to be the Asian community, more so than anything else, that loves a good eating stream. Like, they'll sit and they'll just watch somebody eat food. And I find it really odd. It's like, if you're hungry, go and eat some food. Those sleeping streams, yeah, exactly. You're watching somebody sleep. For starters, surely that's got to be TOS. What if you start having some, you know, funky dreams? You're not in. You are not in control when you're asleep. Look, we don't have to read the patch notes or Blizzard updates. You do it for us. I suppose there is that. Only watch those streams when I'm starving. Seems odd. It's like you should never ever go to the supermarket and do some food shopping when you're hungry. I guess it's the same theory, isn't it? Because if you go and do food shopping when you're hungry, you are guaranteed to, firstly, buy twice as much food as you actually need, and secondly, all of it will be like cakes and cookies and ice cream and not actual proper food. Can you get a mega mic just to put in front of your face? I don't know what a mega mic is. Mega mic sounds, I don't know. Realistically though, most people go shopping right after work, right before cooking dinner. Yeah, exactly. Like, quite literally the worst possible time to go and do food shopping is when you're hungry. But equally, if I go and do food shopping when I'm not hungry, I never know what to buy. I'm not one of those organised people that will, like, you know, write a list. It's kind of appealing if you're alone and it's like anything will do. Now apply it to the Chinese community and boom, massive success. I guess. Hang on, somebody left the group. Why would you insta leave the group? Why would you do that? Put a black ox statue for no reason. Oh, we're popping off, are we? I have no gear on this character, so I'm not doing any popping off. Another one down. Do we think we're actually ever going to get this rocket? I'm kind of starting to lose faith that it even exists. I think it might be a meme, you know. Blizzard might have just left, like, claimed that it's a thing to get people to run this dungeon. When, in reality, it doesn't actually exist, I swear. I mean, has anybody actually even seen anybody get this mount? I mean, am I running this every day for no reason? A guildie got it this week? Okay, maybe it does technically exist then. That's another comment I'm not seeing. Is that on Twitch? Hey? No, I'm not restreaming. I'm not doing anything that fancy. I've thought about that though. I have thought about, should I consider restreaming? Having this go up on YouTube and on Twitch. As it's still undeniable. I don't particularly want to get into a YouTube versus Twitch debate again, but it's I'm very aware that for live streaming content, Twitch is where the viewer base is right now. For now at least, not forever. Earlier years, not this one though. Yeah, I've literally not even seen in the hundreds of runs that I've done of this dungeon boss thing. I've not even seen anybody. To be fair, a lot of people just like the second the boss is dead, they just leave the group, so you don't even see. It doesn't show up in your log when they open their box what they get. But I genuinely don't even think I've seen it drop for anybody this year. I've always streamed on Twitch only, been thinking of trying YouTube as well. My opinion on the whole YouTube Twitch streaming thing is it's my view, I wouldn't say my view has changed, but my view has matured slightly over the last month or so, because I've very quickly come to realise that streaming on YouTube sets a precedent that the content that you stream has to be of the similar nature to what your channel is about. If you and by that I want to express the fact that not just ignoring like viewer numbers or monetization or ignoring all of that, but simply the fact of the way that YouTube is set up, it's such that each of your live streams play a component to how your channel performs. And if I want to play another game that's not World of Warcraft, yet a percentage of my viewer base would happily watch such content, but a percentage of the viewer base quite naturally would not want to watch that, that actually has quite an adverse effect on my channel, and it would do for anybody's channel. Whereas if you have a solid disconnect between the two, it would not have that adverse effect. Couldn't you just stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Well, my God's honest truth is I don't really want to stream on Twitch. I don't like Twitch as a platform. I don't think that they're, as a company, going forward, I think they're clutching at straws and maximising profitability, and give it 12 months, 24 months, they might just be in the can. And that's not a platform I want to build a community on. But I've almost considered streaming on YouTube still, because I still think it's the best platform in terms of discoverability. It's some of its features and functionalities is not great, but I've almost considered starting a second channel, and I will stream on that channel. All of the VODs will be on the channel. It means I then don't have to unlist the VODs to prevent them from sort of cluttering the main channel. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's really odd. Just not sure on what's the best way of dealing with having the VODs available but not in the way of your videos. Yeah, I was thinking of like Manthieus TV, like a second channel where I stream on that channel and then all of the VODs just stay up on that channel. And then that means I have the benefit of the discoverability, because if people watch the live stream and they also watch my videos on the other channel, it still works in the same fashion as having the stream on the same channel. And I know that on days when I stream, my video, if I publish a video on the same day as I stream, that video performs less. Regardless of what the video is, the video performs lesser on a day that I've also streamed. So splitting the two up is maybe not the worst idea. Would that probably just mean less people flow through from the stream to the YouTube channel though? Not really, because of how the recommendation system on YouTube works. That if you watch a stream of somebody and you also watch a video of theirs, like it will still just show it all to you. And not to mention, half of the videos you see in your recommended is actually because it says that one of the things in the recommended on YouTube is that people of this channel are also watching this. So even if you haven't, if you watch my live stream on a separate channel and you've never watched one of my videos on the main channel, the fact that other people have means that my channel will still get recommended to you. So it doesn't matter. Because if you go onto your YouTube, if you just open your youtube.com homepage, there'll be a lot of the recommendations, when you hover over them, will say viewers of this channel have also watched. So if you watch a Linus Tech Tips video, for example, there's a strong likelihood then in your recommendations, then like, I don't know, name another big tech channel. Other big tech channels will get promoted to you because other people who have watched Linus Tech Tips have also watched their content as well. And so YouTube will say, well, other people who watch this channel liked this content, so you might like it as well because you watched that channel. Unfortunately, becoming Coffee Club on one wouldn't then also transfer to the other. All the amazing privileges lost. Well, yes, I have considered that. I have considered that for sure. Oh, did I not queue on this tune? Well, that's probably why we've not got into a group. It's also why I try to keep the Coffee Club as literally just a way for you guys to support me, and I want to try and keep everything that I offer to people free for everybody, but the select few people that do choose to support me in a financial manner mean that I can offer it for free to everybody. For that to work, watching a Linus Tech Tips stream would have to recommend a short circuit video. So it does work in similar fashion to that. So if you watch a Linus Tech Tips video and other people, millions of people watch Linus Tech Tips videos, the likelihood is it would recommend to you a short circuit video. Even because if you've not watched a short circuit video, but the fact that other people who have watched Linus Tech Tips have also watched a lot of short circuit videos, then it will recommend them to you as well. So it still means that there'll be, it still creates that link between the channels, but without the drawback of, because the viewership for short circuit videos, for example, is probably a lot less than what Linus would expect on the main channel, but it allows both types of the content to grow individually. And this is where I think YouTube right now is slightly behind when it comes to how it deals with live content. But they've got all of the potential in the world to fix that, and like literally, at the press of a button, YouTube could be the streaming platform, like literally overnight. All it would take for them is to a good example, right? A lot of you guys will have probably seen, whether you know why it's a thing or not, a lot of you guys will have probably seen that every content creator under the sun recently has started using the community tab. And they've started using polls. Why is that? Well, that's because some clever clogs worked out the fact that because nobody was using the community tab, that YouTube was heavily boosting the people who did use the community tab. and especially when it comes to polls, because it's just more engagement with a channel. More engagement obviously means good, right? And so every man and their dog, I've even done it myself, started making polls, because the engagement on polls was not necessarily the engagement on them, but the amount of people that get shown community tab posts is ridiculous. Exposure for your channel is massive through that content. So just check to Short Circuit, they get about half the views compared to the main channel, even though the main channel has 10 times the subs. The good old spiffing Brit, yes, exactly. So some of you are aware. Well, that's it. The short circuit videos on a subscriber to view ratio probably way outdo what Linus Tech Tips channel does. But that is, yeah, and that is primarily because the short circuit videos will get recommended to a huge percentage of people that watch Linus Tech Tips videos in the first place. Good old spiffing Brit, his poll was tea or coffee. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that was it. How to make the most engage bait poll ever. I mean, I did one the other day. Like, I've done a couple of them over the last few days. Some people see them, some people don't. I'm not sure what triggers that, but I think I went with the old faithful Hoarder Alliance. Why is my game taking like an hour to load? Here we go. Having Brit in his name, I guess he can get away with it. Hey, well, there's the argument that a true Brit should not be asking whether it's tea or coffee. It should be tea by default. But I know I disagree with that, because spiffing Brit would be an arch enemy for the coffee club. I guess you're kind of right. Hey, there's a collab. There's a collaboration. That'll do wonders for my channel if I'm getting a collaboration with the spiffing Brit. Yeah, that would be a collab I probably wouldn't turn down. Spiffing tea versus something. Tea with milk or straight water? I don't drink tea at all, full stop. I'm a terrible British person. I drink coffee. I don't drink tea at all. Talking of the coffee club, though, it's been a huge request by a lot of people that I get on board with a Discord, and I'm starting to see the benefits of Discord. The main reason the channel's not had a dedicated Discord up until this point is because I kind of feel, well, I'm a Discord noob. I've got no idea what I'm doing with Discord. I've never really used it for much at all. Secondly, I don't want to have to, like, I don't want something else to have to moderate. Now, yes, there's obviously the argument that just get a mod, 5head. Thirdly, I didn't feel that making a Discord is even really that worthwhile, because what do I have to offer anybody that's any different to any other Discords? I tend to believe that it's not worth just redoing the same thing that somebody else has already done unless you can do it better. The argument stands is that the WoW Economy Discord, the official WoW Economy Discord, I say official like somebody owns it, but the WoW Economy Discord is pretty good at what it does, and for the most part is probably the best place to go for like basic gold making advice and that sort of stuff. But coming back to the point earlier of all the amazing privileges you coffee club members get, I would like to put together a members only Discord, but what I need to work out is how to even do that, or whether it's possible within the same Discord server to have a public channel for General Joe that just wants to come and join the Discord and keep track of the latest videos and talk gold making or talk Factorio ratios or whatever. But if I can also have a separate channel that is maybe not private but exclusive to only coffee club members, it is possible. Is there some sort of API link that you can do between Discord and YouTube so that if you're a member of the coffee club, it will automatically allow you into that channel on Discord? Do you just have to sync your YouTube account to Discord? I don't know. Just got to find a bot to sync coffee club role on Discord with sub status on YouTube. Is there like some proper integration for it though? Because I would want it to be an automated system. I wouldn't want to have to, go through and manually approve people and then manually kick people if they're, This is the thing. I need to put time and effort into it, and I didn't feel that until there was good reason for it. Maybe I should just make a basic Discord and see what the attraction is to it for people, and if it takes off, then maybe look at doing a sort of a members only section sort of thing for coffee club members, of which I would have no idea at this point what I would actually use it for. But people like to feel that they have exclusivity for something. For Twitch, I'm 100% sure there's lots of options for that already. If there's options for Twitch, I would imagine there's options for YouTube as well then. I need to look into it. But I equally need somebody that's a bit of a whiz with these things to, guide me through it. I mean, I picked this sort of stuff up before, it's just, I know when it comes to things like this, experience is worth a lot. I need to preferably just find somebody who's already done it and they can just tell me how it's done. Come on, Rocket. No! I've only got one more toon on this account. I guess you found him? Well, there we go. I'll ask some questions. There's options for Patreon too. I'm in a server that's got a Patreon only channel. Oh, that's interesting. It would be nice to link it all together, because there's a few people that support me on Patreon because because joining on YouTube isn't an option for them in their country, and probably vice versa. So I would want to make it so that they like whichever's the most convenient. If you wish to support me, and you do, then regardless of which platform you choose to do it on, that you still get the benefits, I guess, is the right way to describe it. We'll see. Maybe I'll look into it over the weekend. No, this one. Go. Is anybody keeping track of how many kills they have on this boss? Or do we know what the... is there a guesstimate to the drop rate of this mount? I know Wowhead... I suppose we could look on Wowhead and it'll tell you what percentage of the player base has the rocket, I guess. What's the... what's it called? Is it... if I just search for rocket, it's not going to find it, is it? Oh, Big Love Rocket. Of course it does. Obtained by only 3% of profiles. Wow. That's ridiculous, you know. Considering how long this has been in the game. Now, in fairness, it's obviously about... you can only, like, farm for it 2 weeks a year. But for a annual event that's been in the game for a long time. When was it added to the game? Added in patch 3.3. So every year since. It must have been in the game for 10 years then. Still only 3% of profiles have it. Ouch. I mean, it says there's a 0.03 drop chance out of the heart-shaped box. So a 1 in 300 chance. 1 in 300 chance. I must be getting close to 300 kills this event. How many kills am I doing a day? How long has this event been on for? I've got 12 characters on my main account plus at least 15 a day I've been doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm probably over 150 attempts this event so far. So technically I'm halfway. If it's a 1 in 300 drop chance. I'll go with that one. That's probably not like totally accurate, but I've just realised, yeah. No recent comments. Oh, I'm meant to be tanking. Oops. Whatever. I can't tank properly on this dude anyway because he's got no gear. It's almost like a guaranteed. Well, that's it. At this point, it should be absolutely guaranteed. It's not even a question anymore. It should be mine. Or not. Or not. Right. Whilst that's so how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 attempts on my main realm. I've got a couple of characters somewhere else. Not here. Here. That's how stats work, exactly. I've got 2 more characters I can do here. So yeah, 15 attempts on my main account per day. Plus 3 more attempts if I remember to do them on my second account. It's probably going to queue me as tank, isn't it? It's queued me as DPS? Are you mad? Okay. Because that's how stats work, yeah. 39 seconds. Student Albatross has excited to announce that he's teamed up with Blue Microphones, have used their product line for years, super grateful. Now, for starters, I already knew that Student was had a sponsorship with Blue because he got there. Well, he just has. But in the picture he used, he could have at least put the picture the right way round. What's an X-ite? Oh dear. Oh, what am I meant to be doing in here? I'm queued up as healer. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see how that... Oh, well I can't now because you've pulled. Oh well, guess I'm not healing. Guess I'm not healing. Heal yourself, boys. Got a Blood Death Knight in here. He can just heal himself. There we go. You can heal by taking damage, so they don't take damage. That's it. If I stand in the fire, then problem solved. Facts right there. Facts. Straight facts. Sneak preview for you and everybody in chat. Check your DMs. Check my DMs. It's a very sneaky sneak. Somebody's working on a craft next button. Somebody also uses LVI. Liking that. Keep up the good work. So, looks like legendary stock tracker is going to assist you with your crafting needs. Probably quicker than TSM will do because they're being hella slow still. Crafting different ranks, by the way, from the restock list. Yeah, I assumed. I mean, I guessed it wasn't making Tide Spray linen bandages. I mean, I guess crafting different ranks of legendaries is going to be quite important. I just really wish I was buying or selling legendaries right now. I probably, if I wanted to get into legendaries again, it would probably require me to dump at least a couple of million gold into it. I'd have to get back to the I'd have to get back to the point where I have one of everything crafted and only sell what's selling profitably. I'd have to get back to that point, which is to restock my inventory is more gold right now than I'm willing to spend on something. I'd like I said, if I dumped 2 million gold into restocking my inventory to have one of everything crafted and listed on the auction house, I would still probably make 100,000 gold a day in profit, like without even trying. But that then equally still means it could take me a couple of weeks before I actually start making profit again, which would then tie me into, because I don't have the ability to do it half-assed. If I'm gonna craft and sell legendaries, I'm gonna do it full tilt, which will mean that I will then fall into the. I'll then feel as if I need to play the cancel scan meta, and I'll need to devote every Wednesday, every Saturday to just camping the auction house. And whilst it would probably be profitable, God's honest truth is I just don't want to do it. Still making $1 million a day in profit on a medium server. Yeah, it's not the fact that it wouldn't make me gold. The thing that's more of a concern for me is that if I got back into selling legendaries at this point, it's simply the fact that I'd have to consider it. It would be, once again, it would fall into the category of trading time for gold. It would feel like farming, because auction house PvP is basically farming. What? Somebody declined? Nobody declines this. Legendary market's really slow now and not worth the cancel scan time you waste. Backing out slowly. Once I sell the last few items, I'll take a break from hardcore goal making. Well, yeah, the thing is I like I said, my mantra when it comes to making gold is make a lot of gold when the opportunity is there to make a lot of gold, so that when there isn't the opportunity to make a lot of gold, you don't have to. You can go and play the rest of the game. Now, I know, like, from a content creation point of view, a lot of my focus on this channel is on doing just that, on making gold. But I'm not going to stand and craft and sell legendaries all day just to try and prop up the theory that it's still profitable. God damn, no stupid rocket. I don't think it's slowed down at all in terms of sales. We're still getting over 1 million in sales in our last Wednesday. Like I said, it probably is profitable. It's the time investment that It's not. Okay, let me rephrase it. It's not the time investment. I'm happy to sit and camp the auction house 8 hours a day. The difficulty for me is more the fact that I don't get to choose when that is. It doesn't fit with my schedule very nicely. Now, I was willing to do it for a while, but I'm just not so willing to do it anymore. Right, that's every character on this account done. Let's load up. We've got a few we can attack on this account. I think most people backed out, hence less competition, but people who stay win the long term. Oh, true, absolutely. I mean, that was something I was quoting people right from the beginning, that after the first couple of weeks, people start dropping out, and the more people that drop out, the barrier to entry only gets higher and higher. So when those people, I mean, I must admit, on my server, the other like 3 or 4 goblins that play relatively competitively on my realm are probably super happy that I'm not competing, because it's one less person selling legendaries, and they're probably still making a lot of gold because I've stopped crafting and selling them. So I'm on the other side of that, rather than being the side that's taking benefit of somebody dropping out. Yeah, just not wanting to camp the auction house is my main thing. Having to spend every Wednesday just farming the auction house. And then every Monday and Tuesday is crafting to be prepared for that. It's actually a lot more than just that Wednesday of selling. And to a degree, it killed the passion that I had for Shadowlands. I'm not going to lie. It sucked all of the lifeblood out of me for wanting to even play the game full stop. But yeah, you're probably right. The fact that the crafting price is actually dropping really quickly probably means, for some of the items at least, that you're probably even making more profit than you used to. That wouldn't surprise me at all. This will be attempt number, I want to say 14 today. Oh, one thing I wanted to sort of, I was thinking about. Is there anybody in, I know my channel doesn't necessarily attract this type of gold maker as much, but is there anybody that focuses pretty heavily on transmog? In terms of the fact that I see, especially on the Reddit recently, there's a thread that keeps popping up of somebody doing a 100 runs of a dungeon and then quoting what they got from that 100 run. And you see a lot of farming videos like that as well, and I find them so unnecessarily misleading, almost as if that they feel that farming an old dungeon for transmog has to be the most profitable thing in the game. And so, like, every single green item that drops is accounted for, and every single old piece of meat that for no reason whatsoever has a 10 gold market value is accounted for, just to, like, pad numbers, like constantly padding numbers. What I'd really like to see, and I was interested if other people would really like to see, what is the actual profitability of running old dungeons for transmog? If you look at it from a gold per hour point of view, it's probably effective, but selling the stuff can take years. Yeah, this is it. Like, all of those green items, you ain't gonna sell them. Not to mention, by the time you've posted them 10 times, even if you do sell it for 200 gold, you've spent 300 gold listing that thing on the auction house in the first place. Like, 90% of the things that I see in these, like, farming guides, or I farmed something for 100 runs kind of videos, that all they do is they show you Loot Appraiser and look at this big number on Loot Appraiser, and it absolutely drives me mental, because I know that that old content, if you actually treat it properly, yes, there's probably a lot of stuff you can get from running on dungeons that is valuable and will sell. But I don't see anybody, like, just cleaning through all of the shit that you're not going to sell. I had another in my bags. No, that's a box of chocolates. It's misleading. If you want to sell mogs, then you know what you're getting into. Well, yeah, this is it. Like, I'm very aware that if you do 100 runs of an old dungeon, no, you're not going to make 100,000 gold an hour. It's ridiculous to even think that you might. But is it still 10,000 gold an hour? Maybe? Is it even fair to put a per hour thing on it? I don't think it is. Actually, like, basing it on runs of dungeons would probably, to me, be more sensible. You can then choose to min-max it by putting together a speed setting going faster. Sure, maybe. It's led me to want to kind of actually do some testing. A while back, Want to Buy Gold did a top 10 transmog dungeons or something. Now he made it into a whole series, and I didn't watch all of the videos. This was probably a year or two ago now. I don't know. But of course, Reckles takes a more data-based approach to a lot of things and spreadsheets everything, and is more into numbers, and it made a lot more sense than just running a dungeon 10 times and looking at loot appraiser and going, wow, that's a big number, now I'm rich. Content like that drives me insane. I actually want to know what is the actual value of doing something, not a super high inflated number. Some random green that has got a market value of 700 gold because 5 other people have thought that it's transmog and have listed it for 10 years straight, yet never sold one of them, isn't something that I think should be, included as potential gold. The other option, and now it's a lot more of a long-term thing, is to set up certain characters, run 100. I mean, this would obviously be a lot of time and a lot of effort to do this, and there's still an element of RNG about it, but you kind of are gonna have to, oh god, I meant to be tank. Please don't pull, please don't pull, please don't pull, otherwise I'm not tanking. There we go. Is to actually, like, create a character, run a single dungeon 100 times, and then list the items that you get from that dungeon. List the items every day for an entire month, and then put your video together. Like, what actually sold. Now, I know Student goes a little bit with that approach, of he does his mailbox cleanouts, rather than, I mean, he's obviously guilty for it to a degree, but he tends to sort of show people what has actually sold, more so than what potentially might sell. But I feel putting a little bit more time and effort into, even if it takes me a month to kind of get the video series up and running, actually getting an indication of, like, what dungeons and what transmog is actually sensible to acquire. Maybe that information's already out there, maybe it's just that I don't know it because I've not looked for it. But I very quickly stop trying to research transmog when it's nearly impossible to filter through all of the shit that's out there about it to find anything that's actually worthwhile. The whole per hour thing is BS. Yeah, for transmog especially, why people use that metric for transmog baffles me. But I guess I like to run old raids, and yeah, I sell some transmog stuff, but if you go and farm Shadowlands materials, you make more gold. True. And that's that. I think it's that approach that so many people have, which leads all of this content to be created in that fashion. I'm sure you had another love heart box on the Pew character. Well, you can't actually hold more than one of them, to my understanding. They're unique, so. And there's lots of chocolate boxes of chocolates that share the same icon, which I don't open. But thank you. Yeah, maybe it's just me venting a slight frustration, but I would this is the thing, I'm not sure how to do it, but I would like to put out for people some information about transmog farming, because it is such a popular way, and it's honestly one of the first things that people get suggested for new players, is to, if you're looking to make some like starter gold to get yourself up and running, and you enjoy running old raids, then transmog is a great option. It gets recommended to people so often, and even after 15 years of playing this game, I've got so little experience in it. I would like to utilize my channel to kind of create something that's not just totally useless. I think that is the big problem, people recommending it to starters. Well, I mean, it's not a sensible way of making a lot of gold quickly, but it is a very sensible way of how to make sure that you have a steady stream of gold. If you spend an hour a week running through a dungeon, after 10 weeks you'll probably have a nice inventory of items. What am I doing in here? I'm healing. Please don't pull, please don't pull, please don't pull. Nope, somebody pulled. Okay, well, I guess I'm not healing. We're going double tanks then. All the tanks. Yeah, make gold quick. Transmog is not that. Transmog is all about repeatedly grinding, getting yourself a large inventory of items, and then making steady gold from that. I mean, the whole thing just stinks of, you should never call this a gold per hour method, because for starters, it's going to be very hard to even track the amount of time that you invest in doing it. Want to buy gold has a video for you. I know he did a whole series on it, which it flew into my recommendations a few days ago, which is why it kind of piqued my interest again. And like I said, since it's something that's so frequently recommended to people, oh yeah, if you want to make a bunch of gold, just, go run some old dungeons, get some transmog, put it on the auction house, instant millionaire. When we all know full well that anybody that's tried it will very quickly realise that no, that's not an instant millionaire way to make gold. But if you do it consistently over 6 months, you'll end up with so many good items. You might have 5 million gold worth of items listed on the auction house. You're likely to make 50k a day just by relisting. Talking about just relisting, we're doing alright selling 168 gear. Oh wow, literally 20 seconds until half of this expires. Okay, sure. let's do a cancel scan, which of course we can't do cancel scan with TSM because it's bust, which is why we use Auctionator. Filthy, filthy Auctionators. Because, I mean, I genuinely feel that if you're in the mindset of I want to make a certain amount of gold per hour that I invest into playing the game or invest into gold making, then yeah, like just base that upon whatever is the most easily available, most reliable selling material on your auction house. So herbs, you know, herbs or skinning. Absolute cast iron guarantee. Whatever you do within that hour, you can put on the auction house and it will sell within 24 hours. There's no complications, no issues with getting any of that stuff sold. If you want just steady gold per hour, that is your option. But I feel, and additionally, I think transmog is a reasonable way to, you know, sort of spread your wings on other servers, because there's no barrier to entry to farming transmog other than having one, a character that can do it, and two, time. So because one of my goals for Shadowlands was to not just focus on one server, but to spread myself across a few different servers. Because not that I'm in no way saturating my current server as it stands right now, but it would be nice to see how other markets play out over and above just my own. And I was thinking about ways to go about getting some inventory, getting some items on other realms relatively easily. Which aren't necessarily going to instantly give me 1 million gold on each different server, but if I, you know, spend an hour on each character each week on each server doing some farming for some transmog, and then just, you know, log on once a day, relist them, how much will it pay for itself long term, I think. So I wanted to do some investigating, I guess. Firstly, let's get this gear back up on the auction house. It's a great fire and forget way of making gold, but it's not the best way. Farming an old instance for something gets transmog as bonuses. Plus, there's another side of me, the all the things side of me. I mean, I don't wants me to, you know, there are loads of pets, toys, mounts, God knows how many things from old dungeons that I still don't have. Now, I would quite happily kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, farm some of those old dungeons for the pets, the mounts, the collectible items, and if I happen to get transmog at the same time, you know, bonus. That's something that I see as, you know, a good use of time. I mean, playing World of Warcraft is not a good use of time in the first place, but you catch my drift. This is another quick fire and forget, by the way. So in 3 days, without recrafting anything, 132,000 gold in 168s and 87s and 117s on leatherworking and jewel crafting. Passive little money earner. I'll take it. No information on Legos in that press release. No, because there wasn't any. The information we got was the information I gave you. We will find out more later today, I would imagine. And by later today, I mean technically tomorrow, depending on where you live. But BlizzCon's in like, what, 12 hours or something from now? What time is it? Yeah, I think in 12 hours time, we'll probably know. We'll probably know. I do hope we get some information about legendaries. But the thing is I get a strong feeling BlizzCon's focus is going to be on patch 9.1. We won't really get much more information about what's coming like really soon. We might get a release date for patch 0.5. That would be a bonus. A release date at the very least would be kind of helpful. I need a whole bunch of anima. Is there a nice cheeky world quest that will give me some good anima? No. No, there is not. There's one for 140. What's that one? 140, 105. If there's new Legos, they'll be in 9.1. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You know what's really sad? Is World Quest gear is often an upgrade for me. And some of the ones that I've technically not... The appearances I've technically not collected yet, I should probably go and be doing them. I was hoping there would be a quick way to get some anima, but there's not going to be any super quick ways. There's not like a 250 anima quest, so I'm just not going to bother. There is so many things, though, in this list of treasures to collect in all of the different zones. I'm kind of quite interested in it. What's this Sorrowbane? Item level 85. That's horrendous. Why would anybody want that? Oh, I guess it scales. That's for level 51. Auto attacks have a chance to instantly execute lesser creatures below 20% health. Yo! That's mad. And that's linked to an achievement. Obtain Sorrowbane from the Theatre of Pain. Ooh, okay. You can't farm Valor, it's got a weekly cap. True. At least the way that it looks so far, it's 750 Valor a week you can obtain. And you can hold up to 1500 Valor, which will give you the need to spend it relatively quickly after obtaining it. There's a companion that is just a random arm that we've not collected. Theatre of Pain, is that's base, that's not always up, is it? What's that nifty add-on you got there, sir? This one to the left, this is called All the Things. This is not really something I suggest unless you hate yourself. I probably wouldn't get this. Only if you hate yourself would I suggest picking this up. I should probably, or maybe I already have. No, I should probably set this to, because I don't really care about, I just want the pets and the mounts, that's all I really want. Grungy Containment Pack. Oh, that's the new back piece. Those look pretty cool. We need to get into a habit of killing a bunch of these rares, actually. From what I understand, the rares are actually a really, really good source of getting your anima. Simply because each rare drops like 35 anima. Killing a rare is as useful as completing a world quest or completing a dungeon. So we should almost be running around killing all of these rares on a regular basis, you know. Especially ones that are going to drop cool stuff. Where's Bubble Blood then? I'm starting to think that maybe Zygor, for my rare and treasure needs, is not as useful as maybe Handy Note probably could be at this point. Unless Zygor has something cool to offer me. Guide menu. Does it have pets and mounts? Mounts. Can I specify Shadowlands stuff? Apparently not. Dungeons, dailies, pets and mounts. Oh, okay. There's a bunch of them. This battle pet is sold from a vendor after reaching exalted with... Okay. Purchase from a vendor. Purchase... I don't care about stuff purchased from a vendor. Oh, okay. Source drop. Oh no! Look, this is better. This is why I need to pay more attention to this add-on. You know. Killing a rare gave the same as killing Mythic Sire Manthieus up until last week. That's ridiculous. Can you imagine? Hey, look, this even shows me which ones I've got. Hey, this is cool. I'm liking this already. Whoa, look at all of the mounts we can get that I definitely don't have. Oh my days. This is a mount dropped by the rare spawn in Ardenworld. This is a mount that is a rare drop from Broken Mirror after upgrading your transport network to level 3. Oh my god! Only members of the Necrolord Covenant can get this one. Yo, I didn't know Zygor had all of this. Plus flying mounts? Well, okay. We need to put together a mount, a rare killing, mount acquiring world tour. I genuinely didn't realise there was this many mounts that could be collected. This has got my mount collecting brain ticking. Ooh, okay, right. Do we set? Can we set? Is there an add-on where we could just, you know, could we do this with TomTom? Just say that, right, follow this route, kill all of the rares along this route every day on every character until you've got everything. Is that possible? What would be really cool is if I could tell Zygor to just, you know, go to all of these locations and do its magic kind of route planning business. Well, let's at the very least try and get anything that is a mount. I should be absolutely dominating Moldraxxus every day. Every day. Until I've got everything that I need. Let's put this down here. You could probably make a route in TomTom with the coordinates. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we'll just fly about and we'll try and kill different things. You see, yeah, my brain is instantly telling me you should like do it in some sort of order. But This is the kind of stuff that when you end up getting so focused on gold making and auction house PvP that just completely disappears into the void that you don't even know is a thing. To be honest, I probably, like, in the first month of Shadowlands was probably when everybody went around killing all of these rares on a regular basis. And I probably just missed that entire section of the game because I was standing in the auction house making lots of legendaries. So I'm probably very late to this party, but I genuinely didn't realise there was quite so much to do in each of the zones. My question is, though, are the rares on some sort of ridiculous respawn timer? Or is it kind of like Mechagon where they're just kind of always up? I would imagine some of them, like I said, I'm asking you guys because you guys probably are 10 times more informed than me. I would imagine some of the ones that, at least the ones that drop mounts, right, are on some pretty hefty respawn times. But everything else I should be able to tick off pretty easy, I guess, right? Oh, only members of the Necrolord Covenant can channel their Anima Conductor to the House of Conduit area to loot the mount dropped by this rare. Oh, okay. Well, luckily both of these two areas are being channeled to anyway. Geiger's meant to be here. Is it this dude? What's this final thread? Do I pull the thread? Should we see? Let's kill these first. What does pulling the thread do? Does he come to life? There he is! Why is my... Oh, let's make my turn, you know, play the game properly. Come on. So, this dude has a predatory plague rock mount. He's also got a fair amount of health. At least he's soloable though. What really annoys me is rares, especially playing a hunter, because you kind of get you're slightly spoilt as a hunter most of the time. That you are arguably one of the most powerful soloing classes in the game. Monolite ore. Can we send a doctor to Jack? I think he might be having a stroke. Are you good? Where did monolite ore randomly come from? Come on, mount. Oh, we got some in. Sprig Thistle Loop. It comes pre-enchanted? No. Oh, no, that's not what I got. Okay. We got Stitch Flesh Design Notes and Abominable Stitching. We also got Anima. Cool. Great. Excellent. We didn't get any dillings, so shame. Right, well that dude's done then. What about this one? He drops an axe at the least that we still haven't collected. Well, we're over in this vicinity. We're going on a rare killing world tour. Beep boop, keep an eye on it. In what fashion? On some servers the BFA ore's going hard? What's the change that's caused that to be the case then? There's always a reason for these things. Why is monolite ore going up in the world? Oh, this dude's hella tank. Okay, let's kill this Donny first then. Nobody's farming it and people are buying it for the mount. Okay. Surely that's a real easy fix though, right? Like you can gather that stuff like mad level and quick. But a good hint all the same. Oh dear, I'm gonna die here, aren't I? This is not a favourable exchange. Right, whilst technically we can kill this dude, the fact that the only thing he drops is a pick that I'm not really entirely sure I want. I'm wondering whether it's worth killing this fella. Because it's going to take me days to kill this. Surely if people are buying it for the mount though, they are not going to need it in huge quantities. Isn't that in itself just going to... I don't know. I always assume that people are more sensible than what they actually are. I would have gone by the assumption that if they only needed X amount to craft a mount occasionally, that they'd just be able to buy it when it's, you know, being dumped super cheap anyway. But maybe that's my naivety to the market coming into play. I think this dude is like, whilst technically, yes, I'm killing him, my desire to stand here and pew him for hours is failing me. I think it's time to leave. That's a kill it in a group kind of situation. We want things that we can kill relatively quickly by ourselves. None of this kind of any mounts or pets. Trophy of the Reborn Bone Lord. Some random cosmetic. That's probably going to look quite cool. Let's do mounts and pets first though. Feasting Lava. Smorgas the Feaster. Well, it's a pet that we need. $8 gold per my server. There's 32,000 of it. But that's what you got to remember. One thing I usually recommend people do when they're looking at like investment opportunities is to fully understand the market. What was good there, it was that obviously if monolite ore is a thing, cool, sure. But you might have noticed my first question was, why is monolite a thing? Like, I don't want to know that just something is a thing. I want to know who's buying it, because then I can work out not only who's buying it, but how much of it they're buying and on what basis, on what sort of time scale they're buying it. Can't do this right now? What's going on? Yes, there might be lots of it and cheap, but you need to know how much people are using so you don't accidentally way overinvest and then leave yourself with a whole bunch of inventory that you're just not going to sell anytime soon. It's gone from there being 3 million of it in the region to less than 1 million. Monolite ore. Should we do some investigating whilst we're flying? Eh? Eh? Is it not called monolite ore? Oh, it's monalite. Okay. Surely it should have found it from there. So. EU quantity. 681,000 of it currently listed. Let's look at region. Daily detail, blah, 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 blah. Regional daily summaries. Okay, so two things are happening. Quantity from September onwards is just going down. Constantly going down. All the way down. And from that same point in time, it's gone from being 5 gold a piece to 10 gold a piece. So its value has doubled, but it's coming to a point right now where the quantity of it available is starting to get pretty sketchy, and that leaves the potential options for flips and resets, that's for sure. There are a bunch of servers that have got a lot of it, but not many actually have a lot of it. What are the quantities like? It's 10 gold on my realm right now. There's, 200 stacks turning up here and there, 600 stack. The entire lot could be bought out and reset for probably not at all. Same with Storm Silver. Just BFA ores still in demand then, obviously. So let's have a look. Currently, it's not a huge amount of it. You could take it all the way. You could take it all out of the market completely right now. Let's say we wanted to take it all out of the market. It's only 50. It's only 50k to take it all out of the market. You got to be careful though, because stuff like this, it's you got to think of it from a time investment point of view. So, I mean, if I was to buy a bunch of it up now, what would you want the price to be? You'd probably want the price to, I mean, you'd want to double your money on it. But even doubling your money, is it really worth it? Would it not be more sensible to, I mean, 50k on 4,000 monolite ore? What would I do? I always like to have a backup plan. So what would I actually do with 4,000 monolite ore right now? This is where I tend to look at. If I was going to buy monolite ore, why would I be buying monolite ore? So, reagent 4. Blah, 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 blah. Why are we getting all of these random odd stuff? Okay, sure. Scopes, no. None of this is a thing. None of this is a thing. None of this is a thing. Hoof plates, not in 25 a time. No, not a thing. I already know the answer. I'm just working to it, by the way. Relics, no, probably not. Supercharged engine. Ooh. Supercharged engine, 100 at a time. 100 monolite ore is needed at a time. That's probably where the demand for it would come from. So, at 100 monolite ore a time, I would need to sell I would need to make a sale to somebody that wanted 100 monolite ore over 40 times with the current amount of it that's on my auction house right now. Not forgetting that if the price is reset to 25,000, if the price is reset to 25 gold a piece, what will also likely happen is that a lot of monolite ore will just appear out of nowhere. Because people are probably not listing it on the auction house right now because there's no real significant slap in the face reason for them to do it. Plus, if I bump the price up to 25 gold a piece, it makes it relatively profitable for people to go out and farm it. Because actually, 25 gold a piece for monolite ore right now is more than they're going to make by running around picking up, more than they could do by picking up oxane ore in Moldraxxus, for example. Plus, they've got the ability, they can fly around, they can do it in peace, they can do it quick. I've got several thousands in a guild bank. This is it. You've got to be aware that when you reset markets, things happen. The more sensible thing for me to do here is probably not buy all of it. I probably want to leave a reasonable amount of it. But, what you probably do want to do is just like slice off a reasonable amount of it. This comes back to an example of resetting a market that I talked about a while ago. That the best way for me to reset this market is for me not to reset the market. The best way for this market to be reset is to make somebody else take the risk. So here, for example, there's 175 at 10 gold. All of this at 10 gold. That's sub 80% current market price. I can just start shaving this off. I'll just keep buying at this price. 10 gold, yeah, sure, no problem. Buy that. That's taken... that will take a certain amount out of the supply, but not enough for it to make a dramatic difference to the people that are selling it. You don't want to cause... You don't want to cause like a panic mode sort of situation by buying it all and doubling, tripling, quadrupling the price of it. What I can do now is I can keep monolite ore on my radar for the next week, 2 weeks, check it once a day, just scrape off any of the cheap stuff because we've now assessed that there is still demand for it. There's still demand for it, and the price is slowly rising. Not by a lot. It's taken since December. In the entirety of January and February, it's only gone from a regional price of 5 gold a piece up to 10 gold, 11 gold a piece. It's doubled in value, technically, sure, but we're not talking big numbers here. So it is going up, but it's not going up, and it's never going to peak more than 20 gold each. It's almost never going to peak more than 20 gold each, because the second it hits 20 gold a piece, it's then definitely worthwhile for people to go out and farm it. And they'll go out and they'll farm it, and that extra supply will push the price back down again. But if I just shave off all of the cheap stuff, it will limit the supply. It won't cause people to go out of their way to farm it. I mean, talking about it and advertising it on a stream is maybe not the most sensible, but you guys are lucky. There's only like 30 of you or so here right now. So it's not like I'm letting a secret loose to the masses. But yeah, start shaving off the supply, and as it starts to dwindle more so and more so. But in BFA there were more multi-boxes, so I don't think it will be that easy. It's all relative, isn't it? If people who are farming, they will farm what is the most profitable. Current content, herbs and ore is getting to a near tragic price point right now. which probably will mean that they'll start looking further afield than Shadowlands to farm things. And if all of a sudden monolite ore on your realm is 50 gold apiece, you can bet your ass they'll be out there farming it. This is why you don't want to make waves. You just want to gather up a bunch of it. Like, start taking it out the market, let the market still steadily decline, and then when somebody does come in and reset the market to 20,000 gold apiece, you can sell it all back at 15 gold, still making profit on it, whilst not having to take any of the risk. Beautiful. That's true, but the quantity will not be as high as it was in BFA. But we also got to remember, the demand for it is not going to be as high either. The only real... There are 2 items, we've already worked this out, there are only really 2 items that is going to be super attractive to people. The supercharged engine for the production of the mount, which is going to use 100 at a time. And yeah, the hoof plates, which was like, what are they, like 20 a piece or something? 20, 25 a piece? 15, 25 a piece? But even these is not going to be like huge numbers. But yeah, that's a cool little tip. Monolite reinforced chassis and a supercharged engine. So what is it? 75 for the chassis and 100 for the engine. So 175 will go into the production of each mount. And then Storm Silver's 50 and 65, so over 100 Storm Silver ore. And then even Platinum, you know. Not that there's... I suppose that's only 30 Platinum there. What are the other ones looking like? What's Storm Silver ore looking like? Let's just duplicate that. Hey, what's going on here? Hey, what? Is it not called Storm Silver? Ah, Jesus, what's going on here? Oh, because it's 2 words. Oh, come on, I hate websites that have dog shit search functionalities. Just because there's a space or not a space, just work it out. Stupid website. Okay. Do we feel that the same thing's happening here? Where's the region? We go by region. Okay, similar things happening. The supply of it is gone from 2.8 mil down to 1.3 mil. It's not as dramatic a decline, nor has there actually yet been much of any in terms of increase in price. I mean, at its lowest of the low, it was 5 gold a piece. It's now 8 gold a piece. So it is trending upwards at the very least, whilst the supply is coming down. So again, maybe not necessarily the worst thing to keep your eyes on. It's just a question of time. Well, that's the thing. This supply of 3 million of it will obviously dry out. You can see the supply was steady for 2020 because BFA was still current content. Supply slowly went up towards the end as everybody dumped their stock. But everybody dumped their guild banks, and now that's coming down. So it wouldn't surprise me if we eventually will start to see Storm Silver ore. It probably won't get back up to 22 gold a piece anytime soon, like it was a year ago. But 15 gold, maybe 20 gold, possibly, before too long. Let's just search for platinum. It is platinum ore, okay. Is there a similar trend happening? Sort of, but Sort of, but not as dramatically. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a matter of margin of error, really, for the platinum. By the way, credit to Lazy Goalmaker. He was talking about it. Did some research. Platinum is meh, but it's cheap to buy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did the video on the mounts the other day. Literally any materials that go into the production of a mount maintain their value. Look at the value of a material from all the way back in Cataclysm, from all the way back in Cataclysm, Whiptail, still to this day maintains there's 160,000 of it across the EU with an average price of nearly 17 gold. Tens of, like, literally so many years after the I don't know why these random weird spikes are. So many years after it was a thing, it goes up in value. Why? Because it still goes into the production of a mount, and mounts still sell. They will always sell. Any material that goes into a mount is worthwhile keeping your eyes on. Yeah, Living Steel's a good one. Living Steel tends to go up and down like a yo-yo, though. It's because it gets I think there's I'm not going to say that there's like deliberately botting that goes on with Living Steel, but it's Living Steel's does some weird things on a trend. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Living Steel is gone from being a steady 700 gold a piece throughout BFA to now going up to 1200 gold. One thing I'll tell you to why this is a thing: multi-boxes. The price was maintained at that steady low point because of people multi-boxing it. So, like, they kibosh, like, it's no coincidence that they turn off they turn off the multi-box tap, and the quantity of materials goes down and the price of them goes up. It's more than just a coincidence. But here's the fun thing: the mount that uses Living Steel is still the same. Now, with that, before I look, Ghost Iron Ore, for me, has the intrinsic value in my head for Ghost Iron Ore is about 15 gold a piece. Because of patch 8.3 and everybody spending a lot of time in Pandaria, Ghost Iron Ore went back down to about 5 gold a piece. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Ghost Iron Ore is back up close to about 15 gold each. Let's see. If I could type. 13 gold a piece, there we go. Let's look at the... Whoa! Turn off multi-boxes. Turn off multi-boxes. Launch Shadowlands. Boom! Quantity available. Drops like a rock. Look what happened though. August. The quantity went up to ridiculous numbers. Why was it so flat for so long? And then why did this happen? Why did this happen? Was this my fault? And the reason I say that is because I was one of the big advocates for buying Sky Golems did the supply of ghost iron ore ridiculously increase because we got pre-patch, or not just pre-patch, I don't know, but that was coincidentally about the, I don't know, I doomed us all. I mean, but this is the tail end of 8.3, don't forget. 8.3 went on for, this was 8.3. Why, I'm trying to think, why come August did the quantity available of it go up so high and then drop like an absolute rock? Literally the day Shadowlands came out, people stopped. It just all disappeared. Where did it all go? "24th of August, I made a post about sky golems. When was your video?" Can I just search? Oh, I can probably search through. Hang on. Sky golem. Oh, okay. I didn't make my video telling people to buy it until October. October 5th. So it wasn't it wasn't entirely my fault. October 5th was here. October the 5th was at the point where it basically peaked by then. So it wasn't my fault, thank God. It wasn't my fault. This is crazy. I mean, you know, I tell you what it is. There's only ever one reason why supply goes up this high that fast. Bots. It was being botted again. They turned on all the bots, and then this, when Shadowlands launches, is when the bots got turned off. Almost guarantee. And it's not that this sold. All of this supply, this, what did it go down to? 1.3, and it peaked at, there's 2 million ghost iron ore sat in the mailbox somewhere. Somewhere there is 2 million ghost iron ore on some bots accounts. Maybe those bots got banned. Maybe those bots got banned and all of that just doof, disappeared. And then it went back down to like somewhat normal levels where, you know, General Joe was out there farming it, whatever the reason. But interestingly, people were farming it. Maybe the Sky Golem hype drew people to continue farming it even during the launch of Shadowlands. Or maybe that was just people dumping their guild banks, I don't know, whatever. But as of this year though, Ghost Iron Ore's gone down in quantity. And its price has been steadily rising from the 7 gold that it dropped to back towards the 15 gold I feel Ghost Iron Ore probably should be. Hot damn. Interesting. This is why it's kind of like, it's handy to keep your eyes on these old materials. I don't do it all that often. I must admit, I often rely on, you know, getting that hint that something's happening. That peak is the same peak of Sky Golem quantity. Yeah, no surprises there. No surprises there. Combination, yeah, I mean, this has to be bots. I mean, just look, if we go back all time, I mean, look what happened. Like, we've never had a point in time where there has been that much Ghost Iron Ore available. Never in the history has there been that much Ghost Iron Ore available. In the history of Ghost Iron Ore being a thing. Somebody decided, right, we're going to bot the living Christ out of it. And they didn't manage to sell all of it, and then their accounts got banned. Boof. Funny, funny. Oh dear. Yeah, see, this is another thing. Like, you could just quite simply just buy this Storm Silver ore, 1,600 of it now, 5 gold a piece, with the indication that it'll be 10 gold a piece in a month's time, and then, you know, double your money. I love to invest in old content. Because if you look hard enough, you can see the pretty patterns. That's the cool thing. You can see the pretty patterns, and especially with materials like this, like 1,600 Storm Silver ore at 5 gold a piece. Like, there's the advantage that, I mean, I can buy that for 8,000 gold. The reason I don't do more of this is because the numbers aren't actually big enough. It gets to a point where, yes, it might cost me 8,000 gold now, but I have to look forward. I have to look ahead to what I expect to get from it when I resell it. And arguably, I only really think that I'll get, if I spend 8,000 gold on this Storm Silver ore now, I'll probably only get 15,000, maybe 20,000 gold back. It's a 12,000 gold profit. I can make 12,000 gold by doing a couple of callings right now. That's the thing I kind of... But if you're doing if you do this exact same thing on 10 servers, then all of a sudden, hey presto, that 12,000 gold is 120,000 gold across your account, and that's much more attractive, you know. And this is why I really want to sort of spread on to more than just one server, because whilst this is probably a smart investment, spend 8,000 gold now, which if I never saw that 8,000 gold again, I probably wouldn't worry about it. Genuinely wouldn't even miss it, is the God's honest truth. There's 5 million gold sat in my bags, just wouldn't miss it. But if I can turn it into 20,000, cool. Excellent stuff. If nothing else, it means that when I finally get my ass into gear and recraft all of those mounts that I actually want to be, that's the key. That's the thing. You don't buy it to resell it. You buy it to completely take it out the market, and then you use it to craft mounts. And then you sell the mounts, because they're the big ticket items that do make sense. Because you're making profit on top of profit. It costs your competition twice as much to make the mount. Yes. See, now that's starting to look a lot more attractive to me. Now it's starting to look a lot more attractive. I look at 1,700 Storm Silver ore, and I see 15 mounts. Not like 20,000 gold just by selling it back. Yes. Not to mention, buying it at this price doesn't affect the current market price in any way, shape or form, because it's less than half of it. If I bought all of it, if I buy all of it, I call the ripple effect is too big. Buying... Somebody's listening. That's funny. Somebody's listening. See, that's the thing. If you buy all of it, the ripple effect is that you then dramatically increase the market price way too quickly, and people will go out and farm it. Whoever just bought all of that I have no issues with the fact that you did it, but whoever did all that, just don't buy the other 3,000 that's there. Let that sit there. Let that mean that over the next few days, any new Storm Silver ore gets posted under this. That's quite funny. Maybe I should just do. I should just do that with any crap I want to sell. I should just post it on a secret account, and then I should just sit here on stream and tell everybody how such an incredibly good deal it is. That somebody will swoop in and buy it. That's funny. Just out of interest, did the same thing happen with the monolite ore? Did somebody come? Somebody bought a bunch of the monolite ore as well. That's funny. Okay, that's tickled me. That's tickled me. Right. Well, before any of my good deals get sniped any further, I'm going to leave it for there today, boys and girls. I want to try and put together a little video this afternoon. I've got some stuff I need to do anyway. It's been an interesting one today. What am I going to do about BlizzCon now that we've had all of the leaks and stuff? I don't know is the honest answer. Obviously, BlizzCon is at a super annoying time for me. It's 1 AM in the morning, so I will not be streaming it, even though they've said that you can restream it if you wish. I will not be streaming BlizzCon. I will probably put together a video tomorrow on the announcements, so that if you guys don't want to watch the whole thing, because I will probably stay up and watch it, but I won't be streaming it. So with it being Friday though, stream wise, next stream will be, well, we'll see, either tomorrow depending on how I feel. If there's any major things, maybe we'll stream and talk about it a little bit tomorrow morning. If not, it'll be Monday. Monday will be the next stream. Same sort of time as usual. So, I wish you all a happy BlizzCon if you plan on staying up to watch it. I hope we have some good announcements. Happy gold making. Maybe go check out some monolite ore or some storm silver ore on your servers. As it got sniped from under my nose on mine, which is kind of funny. Somebody's obviously watching. But anyway, enjoy the weekend, boys and girls. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Peace.